Hi, I'm Sandro Massullo and welcome to the care and maintenance of the saxophone. Today we're going to talk about proper assembly and your basic care and maintenance of the saxophone. We're going to start off with items you should have in your kit. If you don't have already, you should get yourself a good care and maintenance kit. This is a sample of something that we put together here at Massullo Music for you. Just going to walk through everything that we carry in the little kit. Good quality polishing cloth, a swab, very important, cork grease of course, mouthpiece brush, and a reed guard. I'll be walking through the uses of each individual item a little bit later on. First of all, I want to start with the assembly of the instrument. There's a couple different ways that you can do this, but what we have found as technicians here at Massullo Music, a way of putting the instrument together to try and avoid problems down the road. First of all, whenever you're handling the saxophone, the best place to hold on to the saxophone is from the bell. Even when you have the saxophone on your neck, on a neck strap, you should always hold on to it. I like to tuck it underneath my arm like this and holding on to it by the bell. In assembling the instrument, I like to start off with putting the mouthpiece on the neck. That way there's less chances that we're going to bend things when we put it together. So we'll start off with the neck itself. You've got your mouthpiece. When you're putting your mouthpiece on, give it a little twist, and you'll notice that I'm reaching around the octave key. You wanna, the rule of thumb that I have as a technician when I'm putting woodwind instruments together is to try and avoid touching keys if at all possible. In this situation, I can reach around the octave key. This is your octave key. I can reach around the octave key, and basically I'm putting pressure on the side of the neck. In doing so, I grab with my other hand, I grab the mouthpiece and I twist and I put it on. If the mouthpiece goes on easily enough, then we don't have to worry about adding any grease. If it's stiff and going on, then you have to pull out your cork grease. And don't go overboard with this, but just a few little dabs. Work it in with your finger. And that should do it. Once we have the mouthpiece set in playing position, then it's time to put your reed on. And a little tip for you on the reeds. You probably all know that you have to soak the reeds before you put them on. But what a lot of people don't realize is that you should soak the entire reed. So what I always do is wet the first half. Let that sit in your mouth for a few minutes, get it good and wet, and then flip it around and wet the back side. Basically what we're doing, we want to make sure that the entire bottom half of the reed is wet, and then that way when you place that on the mouthpiece, it's going to create a perfect seal. Okay, so the mouthpiece, the reed is ready to go. We're going to place it on the mouthpiece. Try and square it up best as possible. The end result here, what we're trying to achieve, is that the reed is going to line up perfectly with the shape of the mouthpiece. Once we think we have the reed in place, you can pop your ligature on. Okay, so I think I have it close now. So before I cinch the ligature good and tight, just to make sure that we have it perfectly lined up, little test that I like to do is put a little pressure with your thumb, pushing down on the tip of the reed so it comes into contact with the tip of the mouthpiece. And when we know we have it perfectly in place, the tip of the reed should line up squarely with the tip of the mouthpiece. This looks pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and cinch down that ligature. Okay. Now we're ready to place the neck onto the body of the saxophone. As far as the neck going into the body, this portion of the neck we refer to as the tenon should always stay dry. In fact, from time to time you should just wipe it clean with a soft cloth. You can do so on the inside of the receiver, but never apply any grease or oil onto this section. Oil and grease tend to attract dust and dirt and can cause problems as far as the fit of the instrument at a later time. Okay, hold on to the saxophone from the bell, reaching around that octave key so we don't bend anything. Make sure those two joints are perfectly lined up. Give it a little twist and put it together. At this point, we want to make sure, most saxophones, that what we refer to as the octave lever is lined up with the little brace on the back of the neck. Alright. So this is basically your basic assembly of the instrument. Next, of course, we put the neck strap on, and then you're basically ready to play.